with his friends. Now, in the get-together, he's organizing it to celebrate me. So after all his friends gathered and everything started, he now called me in and said to his friend, "This is my servant, Emmanuel. He's been so faithful. He's been so trustworthy. He's been so diligent in his service that I felt he deserved me appreciating him. And therefore, I'm giving him a house in Asokoro, a house in Metama Duplex, or one in, which one is the Aguzape? All right? And then I opened 2 separate accounts for him, one in Zenith, one in GT. And in each of the accounts, I put 2 billion naira each for him. And then this key is a key to a Land Cruiser Prado that I've bought for him. And then this one, Venza, is for his wife. And I wrote the movie that I'll be overwhelmed with excitement. All right? And I will faint. They will pour me water. Then when I come back, out of the excitement, I will be crying. Now, you know that before he knows, me, I know. Right? But when we come to the acting, I don't know. I don't know whether you understand. I wrote the movie, so I know before he knew. But when we came to the acting, he will know before me. Are we together? So when you are reading scripture, there are times God will pull out of time and stand in eternity and talk from eternity. There are times he steps into time and then he talks about tomorrow, he talks about yesterday. Does it make sense? All right. So now, God stepped out of time, out of eternity, into time, and he's talking with them. And he said, I picked you. So, Isaiah could have this vision because with God, there is no past, no present, so God knows everything at the same time. God knows who will be rich tomorrow, who will be broke tomorrow. He knows it. All right? So now he gave Isaiah this information. So Isaiah now finds himself prophesying to Israel that though you are very prosperous now, you are the most powerful nation now, but because you turn your back on God and you worship idol, all right, you will be defeated. You will be captured. You will be taken into a foreign land and you will live as exiles. Are you together with me? He prophesied that from chapter 1 all the way to chapter 39. Then from chapter 40, he switched. He has been prophesying they will go into captivity. They have not gone to captivity yet. No war anywhere yet. And then he switched again and started prophesying you will be delivered. Are you together? He prophesied the captivity before the captivity. And then he prophesied deliverance from captivity before captivity. Now, if I am a prophet and I tell you that, don't worry. You are doing well now, but a time will come you will be broke, that food will be difficult for you to eat. But don't commit suicide. Because as I can see in the realm of the spirit, after that phase of your life, you will come into stupendous wealth that you become the most powerful man in the whole world. So now, when you find yourself broke and there's no food to eat, do you see that? You will not be hopeless. Because this your lack of food now becomes an indication, a proof that you are becoming stupendous. I don't know whether you understand. Now, somebody who doesn't have such prophecy, when such happens, he can commit suicide. But me, I cannot commit suicide. Do you see that? And then somebody who do not have such prophecy, in the time that he become broke, he can do stupid things that will rubbish him forever. But me, I cannot do stupid things. You know why? Because I know this is temporary. I know this weeping is not the end of the story. I know that joy is coming in the morning. All right? So Isaiah prophesied their captivity before they rise and fight for their freedom. I don't know whether you understand the point. In other words, everything in you and around you will signify that you are supposed to be in captivity forever. So at that time, when somebody comes to you and said, don't worry, things will be fine, you say, how? And that is why he used the word worm Jacob. Because a worm is helpless. Are we together? That's why he used the word little. Do you see that? Because your deliverance and your help cannot come from yourself. And he said something very, very fundamental that is very dear to my heart. And that is what he says. Give me the text, please. Give me let's begin from verse 9. I've given you the background, so it will begin to make sense. I took you from the ends of the earth, from its farthest corners. I called you, I said, you are my servant. I have chosen you and have not rejected you. Now, do you know what he's doing with them? Do you notice what he's doing with them? How did they leave Egypt? Because they fought? Huh? Is it because they fought? You know they don't have the power to fight the Egyptians. So how did they leave? Because the Lord did it. So he said, I took you. Remember. Now you are saying we don't have the weapon. You are saying we don't have the economic power. You are saying we don't have the political power. How can we be able to deliver ourselves? He said, remember, I took you from the farthest corner. Oh, he took you from Gayama. He took you from Donga. He took you from Takum. He took you from Nita. He took you from Kaduna. He took you from Jalingo. He took you from wherever. He brought you here. Don't you dare tell me that if he has brought you here, he can't help you here. That is because you are looking at yourself. Give me the text. Give me the text. He said, so do not fear. If you remember how I brought you out of Egypt, you should not be hopeless, isn't it? If you remember how I gave you the job, you should not be hopeless that I cannot help you get the promotion. If you remember how I gave you the husband, how I gave you the wife, you should not be afraid that I can give you the baby. If you remember how I lifted you, you should not be afraid that I can stop them from bringing you down. If you remember how I gave you life, do not be afraid that I can stop them from killing you. I don't know whether you understand. So you are beginning to see the message. So if you just read it, you won't get it. But when you understand what he's saying, then suddenly the message becomes clear. I am not afraid because I am powerful. No, I am not bothered by the economic reality in the country. Not because I have money stashed up in my account. But I know the God that fed me when things were in surplus. And that God does not change now that things are hard. You see, we are talking with some people. They came from one TV station, and we were talking in the office this morning. And they were saying, the economic recession. I say, according to who? By who? I'm not an economist, but I'm a biblicist. Let's analyze. They say, oh, once upon a time, car was 7,000 naira, right? 5,000. So now, in our mind, oh, it was cheap. No, it wasn't cheap. Let me explain to you. How much was the total dollars in the world at that time? Do you get the point? How much is the total naira in Nigeria at that time? What was Nigerian budget? It wasn't many billions. Right? That was the total money in Nigeria. What is the total money in Nigeria today? So you say something is cheap compared to the overall money. Okay. The global economy has never crossed 100 billion threshold, 100 trillion threshold before, but now it crossed 100 trillion. That means there's more money in the world. So there's no lack of money. You see, in your mind, you say there's no money. There's no money. No, there's money. What actually happened is the way to get the money changed. Do you understand what I've said? Do you understand what I say? There's more money in Nigeria this year than last year. Forget anybody, anything anybody tell you. There's more money. Please quote me anywhere. There's more money in Nigeria this year. Forget all this grammar the economists do. Me, I'm a practical person. There's more money, more naira, more 1,000 notes, more 500 naira notes, more 200 naira notes, more 100 naira notes in Nigeria this year than last year. The only difference is how to get it changed. Do you understand the point? So instead of you sitting here and say economic recession, and the little I've done with these global control freaks, what they do. Okay, let me explain it to you very in simple time. He is the globalist that, sorry sir, sorry. He's the globalist that control everybody, right? Now, they say Nigerian economy is growing, right? Because they say that, you watch the news, you read, so you too, you begin to dream big things. The more you dream, the more creative you become on getting the money. Now, the more money you get, the less money they will get. So what did they do? To throw in the control system, they tell you there's economic recession. The moment they say there's economic recession, what do? You adjust your expectation. Then your creativity will also dwindle. Do you see that? Then you get less money, then they get more money. Forget all the grammar. Simple. The question is there more money in the world this year than last year? That's the economy we're supposed to know. Are there more cars in the world this year than last year? Are there more houses in the world this year than last year? Are there more shoes in the world this year than last year? Are there more computers in the world this year than last year? Are there more phones in the world this year than last year? That's all I need. If you think there's no house, see some are growing here like grass. No, even that our own. I see new ones growing. No, I stood here today with Adamu and I was like, when did they start this one? What I want you to understand is that you need to understand what is going on. It's a game. The moment you believe that nonsense, economic recession, what do? Your hustle will shut down. Cool? Don't believe that nonsense. All right, let's go back to our text. He said, so do not fear, for I am with you. What? You remember the other Wednesday we have? See, if God is with you, everything is with you. Everything is with you. But the problem you and I have is that we do not recognize that he's with us.